Hello everyone. Thank you so much for checking this video out. I have a pillow mountain behind me apparently, but welcome to the channel. The channel is called Forever Porty, and it's named after my beautiful hometown of Portland, Jamaica, and it's just a way to just remind me of where I consider to be home in my heart. So, this video, I want to talk about self love. Self love is one of those topics that I think many of us watching this video were very keen to learn about the knowledge of it, and then also to actually put it into practice and then to embody it. I think those are like different layers or levels to knowledge. It's like the theory, then you have the okay, I'm practicing doing this, then you have I have embodied this. So self-love. The title of this video, I think I called it You Are People Too. And this is something that I've said to people in conversation because growing up, I believe I was not, I will say this, I don't believe I really understood what self love was. And I know people say, oh, if I could change anything in life, I wouldn't, because if I did, the mistakes made me who I am, so on and so forth. I don't know if I'm at that level as yet. Maybe I can be one day, but if I could go back in time, I would change my understanding of self love. My understanding of self love was that self love was selfish. The fact that you are loving yourself, what? That's selfish. Why would you want to love yourself? Why would you want to love on yourself? Why would you want to show your body love, show your mind love by resting, show your body love by resting or relaxing or working out, whatever it is that you need to do for love. And I think one of the reasons why self love was a difficult topic or has been a difficult concept for people to understand is, first of all, the concept of love. First of all, how do we understand love? And then it kind of makes you wonder, if you really understood what love was, why didn't you want to give it to yourself? And then a bigger question is not just why didn't you want to give it to yourself, but why did other people try to stop you from giving it to yourself? Whether it be your partner, your sibling, your parents, your caregivers, religion, other groups in society. Why was there no push? So let's back it up, right? So, love. And I'm not going to sit here and try to pretend as if I know the best definition or explanation of love, but I'm sure that people have different definitions, right? Multiple definitions of love. And there are different types of love. Maybe the love that you have for a romantic partner could be a different love than the love that you have for your sibling. Maybe even different from the love that you have from your parents and your friends. So if we think about, oh, I love someone, okay, we're thinking about good things usually, whatever good means, right? So if I love someone, I care about them, I want to listen to them, I want to help them. I also maybe want to tell them if I feel as if there's something that they should know that could be helpful to them, etc., etc. So then, if we wrote all of those things on a mirror and say, when I love someone, this is how I show it. I listen to them. I support them. I check up on them. I maybe go do an act of service, pick them up, right? We can go into the 5 love languages, I think, by, is it Gary Chapman? I don't remember if that's his name. Is it that I like to give them a token of my love? So then, if all those things are so wonderful and so good, why would we have had such a hesitation to do those things for ourselves, right? And I think this is one of the reasons why. I think one of the reasons why is because we have lived in a time and a season, because there are times and seasons for things, right? Nature even shows us this. It's time for the, you know, the polar bears to go hibernate, or it's time for certain flowers to, kind of die in the snow. They're not blooming in the snow. So there's a time for everything. And it does not just apply to animals and plants, but it also applies to humans because the human body is from the earth. And so we are not above, I'll use that word loosely, we're not above, right, laws of nature. Or I'll say it this way, I don't want to say we're not above nature because we are above nature, but that's a different thing. We are impacted, or we can be impacted by the laws of the natural laws of this earth. So if there was a season and a time where people were not loving themselves, it also would mean that they were not loving others. Because in order to love others, this is something that people are saying, no, you have to know how to love yourself. How can you love someone else and you don't know how to love yourself? But in the times that we have lived, that the humans have been on this earth, we have not learned about love because love is something that comes from the heart. And when we think about who is teaching us about how to live, how to function as humans and citizens, the leadership of the earth has been mostly male dominated. And I think it's safe to say that's not an opinion. You can look pretty much in every people group on this earth. There are a few exceptions of people group that are matriarchal societies, but most are patriarchal societies. And I'm not trying to say anything is wrong with patriarchy. Nothing is wrong with patriarchy. The way that people do patriarchy, that can be an issue, as we have seen. Nothing is wrong with matriarchy, but if you do matriarchy in an imbalanced way, that can bring issues. And patriarchy is not a monolith, right? So there's a spectrum of how patriarchy is done. But in general, I think it's safe to say that most people groups were led by the people that had the physical strength to divide and conquer and take this physical space, so before we can live and enjoy the earth, we have to make it ready for us. Just like your bed, before you can enjoy your bed, you have to make it up. So it's so hard for us to understand because we're so far removed from the caveman days and the other types of species before the modern Homo sapien. But it was, you had to put your body, blood, sweat, and tears into everything that you wanted. Now we live in a time where we are so removed from how our food is prepared, how our clothes is made, everything. But in those times, you had to put the physical body, the physical body, the physical body, the physical body. And so, with that masculine energy of using that physical body, that was the dominant energy that led and made decisions and made choices and came up with rules, etc., etc. And of course, men do have hearts, but thinking about that time where you're using your body, you're thinking about food, how you're going to eat, I mean, basic human needs, there is no heart there. There's no heart. It's survival. it is survival. And so it is about being in the present moment, which is a function of being in your heart, is being in the moment, saying, how, for example, if I'm talking to a person, I can use my heart and say, okay, what do I need with this person in this interaction? If I look at my heart, right? How do I feel being with this person? So there is a bit of being present in the heart, but there are layers to the heart, right? I think we kind of make references in the English language of, oh, deep in my heart, I love you deeply. Where do you love me deeply? Deeply in your pancreas, maybe. Deeply in your spleen, deeply in your kidney. It's deep in your heart. So if then the heart has a deep, then it has a shallow, and it has maybe a middle, maybe even more. So I think what happened is we just lived so many years with the survival and how am I going to eat, where are we going to live, and not judging any of that because that was the foundation. If you didn't have a place, a roof over your head, whether it was a temporary roof or it was a transitional housing, such as maybe you picked some leaves and you made a house out of some very beautiful broad leaves that could be your shelter. So that's where we need to figure out what are we going to eat, where are we going to live. We did not have time for deep heart connections, and vulnerability. Maybe that's the level of the heart that I'm getting to. Of course, people loved people back in the caveman days, and of course that they had heart connections, but vulnerability. And also when we're looking on those that are leading, the people that are making decisions and say, okay, this is how our society is going to be, they were mostly men. They were mostly men. And so men are making decisions about how society should be, and they're making decisions to include a population that they do not have personal experience with. So, how can you make decisions without having that personal experience or getting the input from that population? So I think what happened was we lived in a time, or our ancestors lived in a time where might was right. And to be honest, I still do think that quite a bit of cultures do still think that way, because once again, that's a very old programming that we had because we were using our bodies, force, physical, compete, win over you, triumph, victory. And so we developed this, the masculine energy was very pervasive everywhere, everywhere. How this home was structured, how schools, how city, how commerce, how everything. So when we're thinking about love, where is there time to love? For in a the brain of a male, where's there space to be vulnerable? Now, some cultures, of course, do differently than others. There's some cultures where men can be vulnerable. They can put their emotions out and not be laughed at. Ha ha, look at him. He's crying. Oh my gosh. There are some cultures that have that. And then some cultures are like, what? Is that the beginning of a tear? Get rid of it. So the heart of men was shut. That door was shut for so many years, so many years, so many years, so many years. So then you have that kind of repressed emotions in the DNA. Then that's being passed down to the kids and the kids' kids and the kids' kids. And then you have the socialization system set up for some cultures saying you're a man, you don't cry, you don't show weakness, crying is weak, right? Um, so I understand why we did not have a good knowledge base, practice, and embodiment of love that we saw from the people before us because it's survival mode. And when you're in survival mode and you're thinking, oh, should I be vulnerable now or should I survive? Your brain is going to tell you survive, because your brain is created for survival, not for happiness or for love, but survival, which makes sense, right? Because technically, if you were in a situation and you said, you know what, I think I love this person right now. And oh, I just stepped on a nail. I don't know. I just stepped on a nail. I have a nail in my foot. But the love I have for this person, I'm going to ignore this and I'm going to, go on this date. Now, people can do that, right? But really, what your brain is saying, listen, your body needs attention. And it would take you, would have to override that in your mind and say, you know what, I should probably cancel this date, right? I can't let the love override the need to take care of myself, because then I may not be here or I may lose a limb. So it's important that the brain helps us to survive. We need the brain for that. But our brain is of this earth and is trying to figure out this earth system, how to make our body, which is from the earth, function well and optimally in this earth. But your mind is what we have to use. Our mind, or some people might say soul or spirit, whichever one you want to use, your mind, your soul. And we need to connect more into the heart. And when we are connecting into the heart, we are reprogramming our brain that we don't have to be stuck in survival. It's very sad. It's very sad that young boys were taught directly or indirectly, usually directly and indirectly, don't cry, don't shed any tear, keep your emotions inside. What does that lead to? Repressed emotions. It can lead to not great things. It can lead to emotional outbursts. It can lead to mental health condition. Someone who may have anger issues. It can affect the body, right, physically. So I'm saying all of this to say that when we think about self-love, we have to understand historically, based on what was fed to us about how we needed to be here. The people before us couldn't really teach us about self-love because they didn't really know it very well themselves, oftentimes. Not every person, but I think a lot of people did not. And so when you're thinking about, do I really need to love myself then, right? Because some people are very like evolutionary biology kind of based, and they're just like, well, if people didn't do it in the past, why do we have to do it now? Well, that's what evolution is about. There's a very famous quote that says the only thing that's constant is change. I think that should be a huge green flag, a huge indicator to us that change is inevitable. Change doesn't ask us sometimes, right? So if you're trying to figure out, do I need to love myself? If you are the person that says, oh, I love other people, this is what you need to tell yourself. Well, I am a people too. I am a people too. I am a people too. And I use it in the plural, and I know it's probably, blood is coming from the ears of some, English purist. I am a people. Wait, that doesn't go. But I say it because sometimes we forget those that were raised and conditioned to, oh, love others. The love is always pointed out externally. Um, you say you love people, but you don't have time to love yourself. Aren't you people? If someone walked in the room and said, all the people who live in whatever country you live in, raise your hand, would you not raise your hand? Because you're people. Or we can use another form, persons. If someone came into the room and said, all the persons who are interested in signing up for this whatever sweepstakes or whatever, if you were interested, would you not raise your hand because you're a person? So this is something that I used for myself. It was very helpful to me. And it sounds weird grammatically. I am people, but I had to say it that way because it was very easy for me to see other people, but to not see myself as people. I am people. Am I not? I am a person. And when you put me with a bunch of other persons, then we're persons or we're people. So I am people. You are people. So if you know how to love others, but not the same as you love yourself, you know how to love other people, but not the same as you know how to love yourself, put a pause. Put a pause in loving other people. Because once again, you are people. So why neglect the love that you should be given to you, the person? And I can say this in another way, but I want to do another video on this, but I'll say it here. I can say this in another way. Do you have a body? Are you in a body? You are somebody. So if this makes sense to some people, you are somebody. So if you are the person that says, oh, I, like to help, or maybe if you say like, oh, anybody, right? Because technically you are a somebody using the English language. If they're like, oh, somebody's car is whatever lights are on, or maybe somebody forgot their cell phone in the bathroom. You're somebody, you are a body. Well, you are not a body, but you're in a body. So how can we love people and we can love somebody else, but we cannot love our body and love ourselves as a person? Really think about it. Really, really think about it. And I mean, it just, for some reason, it just clicked with me to say, I am people. And then when I'm talking to my friends, I'll tell them, remember, you are people. And I have to say plural, right? Because if I say you're a person, people go, oh, yeah, duh, I know I'm a person. If I say you are people, and they go, why do you say you're people? Oh, because you say that you love people. So why don't you love yourself? Aren't you people too? So I kind of have to say it that way. So pardon the grammar of it all. Um, but I hope this has been helpful to anyone and everyone that's on the journey of self-love. And um, sit with it. There's so many reasons as to how we have ended up here, so many reasons why some of us are just learning how to love ourselves, and we did not know how to do this when we were younger, because those before couldn't teach us something that they did not know how to embody. And even if they taught it to us just with words, but if they didn't embody it, how could we learn how to do it very well? So kudos to everyone out there who knows how to love themselves, who is learning how to love themselves. And one of the things I learned from Louise Hay, wonderful woman, is if you want to make a change, affirmations are so helpful. And just saying that you are willing, one of the things she said, I am willing to. So sometimes you might be like, I don't know if I should love myself. Do I deserve to love myself? Then you can write an affirmation, and you can even speak an affirmation that says, I am willing to love myself. Or maybe you could say, I am willing to learn to love myself. That's it. And you write it. There's a principle. I think you write it 3 times in the morning, 6 times in the afternoon, 9 times at night, or just repeat the affirmation 5 times. I am willing to learn to love myself. I am willing to learn to love myself. I am willing to learn to love myself. And I like to say affirmations with a smile. So let's try. I am willing to learn to love myself. I am willing to learn to love myself. And the smile just kind of adds a bit of extra sprinkle, of gratitude and just happiness to just repeating a statement like a robot, like I am willing to learn to, affirmation sometimes can sound like that, but if you are speaking them, it's very important to pay attention to the energy, right? The emotion that is, aligned, or kind of coming with those words, because it's not the words, it's your energy, right? And that's a whole other video that I want to do, on energy. But remember, you are people. Tell yourself, I am people. And just know that on this journey to self love, you'll have ups, you'll have downs, you'll have days you do it well, days you don't do it well. But just keep saying, I am willing to learn to love myself. And you will see amazing things happen. I believe it for you. Thank you so much for checking this video out. I really appreciate it. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel as well. Share the video as well with those that you think this message could be helpful to. At the end of my videos, I always like to give a shout out to anyone watching this video on their birthday. If today is your birthday, happy, happy, happy birthday. Or maybe yesterday is your birthday or tomorrow. No one is really kind of, strict about this, but happy birthday to you. I really do wish you many, many blessings on your birthday. Your birthday is the start of your new year that you personally have, and everyone else that's born on the same date as you are. But that's when the year starts according to the calendar utilized in the West, right? Your day one is your day of birth. So I wish you many blessings. I wish you all the best. And please remember to like, share, and to subscribe. I look forward to putting out more information. I hope this has been helpful. And yeah, I just appreciate your time. And hopefully, I will see you on the next video. Bye for now. Bye. Bye bye.